First joke. So the first joke that you ever told. The worst joke, maybe a joke that didn't age well, or the worst joke that you've ever told.
Yeah.
And then lastly, street jokes. So just one of your favorite street jokes. I know sometimes it's hard to think of your favorite or to remember every street joke that you ever heard, but just one for the people.
Okay.
So let's kick it off, Sean. Do you remember like the first joke that you ever told on stage?
I think the first joke I told on stage that I remember was I said, they always say, they say don't dress for the job that you have, dress for the job that you want, which is why I showed up to work dressed like an astronaut. Which, it might not have been the first joke, but it was the first joke that somebody told me, hey, 5 other dudes do that same exact
Because I was just going to say, like,
It's not a bad joke.
It's not awful.
The first joke I probably had was like something about, I used to have a joke about a guy who would yell, hey, shorty on my block. And like he was a ghetto rooster. That was probably a pretty early joke.
What do you mean?
I can't even remember the whole joke.
How about how would you do the impression if I said it?
Yeah, you go, hey, shorty! Hey, shorty! I would use the voice to go, hey, shorty! And I'm like, what is it, a ghetto rooster? What is going on? And I thought that was...
Did it do well?
Yeah, but if I said it now, I'm sure people will get mad about the word ghetto. I think there is comments online about the word ghetto. What are you talking about, ghetto? Yeah.
Oh, really?
I used to have a thug barbershop joke. I don't know why I'm doing 3 in a row. But
No, it doesn't matter.
thug barbershop joke that I did on TV that was actually pretty funny. And then somebody was like, just say black barbershop. Why do you have to say thug? What's thug? And I'm like, there was no black people in this barbershop. So joke's on you.
Ah. Yeah. Was that in the joke? Was that part of the joke?
No, it was part of the comments after the fucking thing.
Because I think that's kind of funny now as part of the joke.
I wouldn't do the joke again. It was it's 10 years
Sure.
ago. Yeah. Or whatever it was, 8 years ago.
Now,
But,
do any of those fall into like? Do you think any of those are your worst joke? Like, do you have like maybe not like the worst, but just something that doesn't age well?
Early on, I had an attempt at a joke, which would have been the worst, where it was talking about. I found out there's a thing called the culture. What was the joke? Damn, the culture of the office. I didn't know there's a such thing as the culture of an office.
Okay.
Which is why I want to say I only like to work with white people. which is why I only work with white people. But it makes no sense. It was like the ramblings of somebody 6 months into comedy thinking it would be sarcastic or ironic, or they would get the fact that I was kidding that I only work with white people.
But you didn't know how to do it then.
Yeah, the joke, it was supposed to be about the fact that there's a term, the culture of the office. I didn't understand what that meant.
So you're doing like a Carlin play on words type of thing almost? Or like figuring out like...
It's being very generous.
No, not obviously the joke stinks. The joke stinks. I'm just saying when you first start out in comedy, the reason that some of your jokes are bad is because they're bad impressions or, bad like you're kind of mimicking. You're always mimicking somebody at first.
Yes.
I feel like.
I was mimicking maybe that was a George Carlin thing. I remember I used to go up and mimic Jim Norton. I love Jim Norton, and I would just go up and go, "Shut up, stupid!" Like I would basically just do a Jim Norton impression for the first 3 months of comedy.
But that's what I kind of mean. Like that style of joke is like taking a phrase and you're trying to see like culture of the office. What's this? And then you were trying to add a little edge with it, and then it just turned out like.
Yeah.
I always said like anytime I did a joke that was like about race, if it wasn't funny, I just looked like a racist.
Same here.
Yeah.
100%. I used to, that was bad. Like I thought people would get the idea that like, hey, I'm kidding. That's the joke is that I don't get what you mean by culture of the office, but it didn't land. It was probably the first. That's like the first 3 months of me doing comedy, and people are like, you can't say that.
Yeah, it's just not good.
So it was bad.
All right. Well, then we'll close it because we're gonna keep these bad boys short and
Pretty
sweet.
short, yeah.
And we're gonna hopefully get some more comics. This is gonna be our opportunity to get some guests in the rotation and spotlight some of our friends and get to talk about weird comedy stories with them. This is my favorite. I love street jokes. I really do. Like I grew up on them. Do you have a favorite street joke, or at least one right now?
Do you want a dirty one or do you want a clean one?
Let's do two.
You want to do two?
Yes.
All
Give me
right.
the clean first.
All right, clean is this.
Because you're not going to be able to follow the dirty.
It's an old blonde joke, which is like 30 years old. But remember when blondes were a punchline?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is like that makes no sense now. But it's a pretty funny joke for the time period. It's old. I thought it was a good joke for like an old street joke. There's a blonde in like a red sports car, and she gets pulled over by a cop. And the cop goes up to her door and he goes, "Okay, ma'am, license and registration." And she goes, "License? What's a license?" And he goes, "Ma'am, stop it. Give me your license and your registration." She goes, "What's a license?" And he goes, "It's a little thing that says you can drive, has your picture on it." "Oh, I have one of those. Hold on." Goes in her glove compartment, gets the license, hands it to him. He goes, "All right, now your registration." She goes, "Registration? What's registration?" "Ma'am, stop playing games. It's the registration for your car that says you own your car. It has your name on it." "Oh, I have one of those." Goes in her glove compartment, grabs it, hands it to him, right? He's shaking his head. He goes back to his squad car. He calls it in. He goes, "You wouldn't believe this woman's trying to tell me she doesn't know what a license is. She doesn't know what a registration is." The cop at the precinct goes, "Drop what you're doing. Don't worry about the stupid ticket. Drop what you're doing. Just go back over to the car and drop your pants." And he goes, "What are you, stupid? I'll get fired. I'll get arrested. What are you, crazy?" He goes, "You will not. I promise you, you will not. Just drop it, go over there, and just drop your pants." So he goes, "All right." Gets out of the car, goes back over to the window, drops his pants. She goes, "Oh, no, none of the breathalyzer."
I love it.
That's pretty good, right?
Was that your clean one?
That's a dirty one.
Oh, that's the dirty one.
Oh, you said clean at first.
I think I said start with the clean one.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Yeah. Well, did you ever hear that one before?
No, I love it. I thought you were gonna do the. Did you ever hear about the it's natural?
I don't
You
know
ever heard
that one. No.
It's like there's the it's like a guy's sitting outside. He's the security guard at a hair salon or something like that, and like a brown haired girl comes out and he says, "Oh, I love your brown hair. It looks great." And she goes, "Oh, it's natural." And then another girl walks out with red hair and he says, "Oh, I love your red hair." She says, "Oh, it's natural." Then a girl with green hair walks out and he says, "Oh, very interesting. I love your green hair." And she goes, "It's natural."
That's like a fourth grade street joke. Yeah. The clean one I have that I like a lot. It's probably my favorite joke. Is there's two guys that are drinking at a bar, two strangers. The bar at the top of a very, very tall building, right? They're drinking for a while, and finally they're getting to know each other a little bit. And the first guy goes, the second guy goes, "You know, if you go out this balcony right here and you jump off at the right moment, all you'll do is float around for a little bit and get sucked right back on top of the building. It's the way the building's designed. It's aerodynamics." And the second guy goes, "Get out of here. What are you trying to do?" And he goes, "No, I'm serious." They're drinking some more. And the first guy brings it up again. He goes, "I swear to God, watch, I'll show you." First guy goes out, jumps off the building, floats around for a little bit, gets sucked right back on top of the building. Second guy can't believe it. He goes, "Oh my God, I thought you were bullshitting me. What are you, crazy?" He goes, "Go ahead, give it a shot." Second guy jumps, falls 40 stories, splat. First guy goes back into the bar. Bartender goes, "Superman, you're a dick when you're drunk." I know you knew that one.
I know. I love it.
You're doing a good laugh, though.
No, I love that. I love street jokes. I could hear them told all day.
I love them. I think they're great.
I grew up on them.
Same here.
All right. Well, that's it. That was the first episode of First Worst Street. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube here. Check out the Brand New Jerks podcast on all streaming platforms. This is just going to be a YouTube exclusive, and maybe a clip or two of these you might show up on our TikTok and Reels, depending on if we're running out of content or not. But please make sure to give us a follow. Thank you so much.